A wooden tankard of ale, raised. Victory wine for the men who walked out of the Living Armor Legion alive. Ash lifts his own mug, brown eyes flat, expression tight. The Tyrant is supposed to smile tonight. Cheers! The word lands in the hall like a command. Foam spills, soldiers roar, and the prince plays host to his survival. Two tankards collide so hard the beer leaps into the air. The survivors are drinking to the dead. A quiet woman bows over a cello. A drummer keeps time behind her. Crossroad is throwing a real feast tonight. The kitchen boss in his black apron bellows orders as the cooks work. Every table gets its portion, even the slum thieves. Meat sizzles across iron grills, fat popping into the flames. This is the reward for surviving hell difficulty. A fist clenches under the noise, knuckles white. Not everyone in this hall is ready to celebrate. The newbie won. The crowd detonates, fists in the air, strangers hugging strangers in Crossroads Hall. A soldier roars, his throat raw. Behind him, Ash sits alone on a bench, cape pulled at his feet. White greaves scuff as Ash rocks on his feet, the ale hitting harder than he expected. Lucas catches him quietly. The blonde aide in blue and white armor steps in with a concerned bow. "You haven't eaten all day, Your Highness." Ash swirls the mug and stares in. Foam clings to the rim like molten gold. Too much of this will drop him. Lucas leans close, blue eyes smiling faintly. "I think you can be a little bit happier, my lord." Ash exhales through clenched teeth, jaw tight. The drunk is threatening to take him down. Outside, a voice calls up the moonlit house. "Are you all right?" Yeah, I'm fine. Is this not beer?" His mouth hangs open. That's gotta be at least 20% alcohol. Red bleeds across his thoughts. Crossroads still lost people tonight. Each life matters. Each one. Brown eyes narrow in the dark. He cannot save everyone. In Empire defense, that is an arrogant thought. A memory flickers. The tutorial was different from this. This time there were openings. Openings hurt more. A white gradient. A breath held. Memory receding back into the noise of the feast. Fire roars back into view. A wooden crate burning in the courtyard. The bonfire throws sparks into the black sky. Lucas stands silhouetted against the flames, armor white against orange. If His Highness isn't happy, the army panics. Firelight catches in the blonde aide's smile, brown eyes crinkling. "At least for now, my lord." Ash's face settles into something cold. Smiling is also the job of the commander. The prince does not grieve in public. Glasses flashing, spiral pupils spinning. The kitchen master bursts back in with a tray piled high with food. The cook in his tall white hat bows low, platter tilted forward. "I also brought some vegetables, Your Highness." Lucas beams behind round glasses. "On clearing stage 1, my lord." Blonde hair catching firelight, troops chant in the background. "Please keep up the great work." Ash meets their eyes, brown and steady. Ash lifts a bun and takes a bite. The chef freezes behind him, horror cracking across his face. His Highness has no meat. A rooftop cracks open above the hall. "I'm sorry, Your Highness. We were so ignorant." Men drop to their knees in aprons, faces twisted. "Eat only vegetables?" What kind of life did Ash live? A cook roars from the floor, veins popping. "You rotten bastards! Bring meat for His Highness." Meat! Ash stares at nothing. How did it become like this? He had been planning to review today's battle in a quiet corner. A small hand in a green sleeve catches his gloved fingers. "Your Highness," a voice whispers at his arm. "Lily." The red-haired magician braid over her shoulder, tears cutting down both cheeks in the cold air. Damien wheels her chair forward, priest robes catching the moon. No work more. No one is getting discharged. Two hooded figures lift their heads. Priest trainees. "Ah, Miss Lily." The one on the left gasps. "Heek, I want to quit." Lily slumps in the chair, voice cracking. Ash stands over her, cape red in the moonlight. Dame Jupiter leans in behind, silver hair past her eye patch, grinning like a wolf. "What now?" Ash's eyes read. 3 mugs slam onto a table. Lily sobs between Jupiter and Ken, the slum veterans in her peripheral vision. Dame Jupiter, silver hair, eye patch, medals down her chest, grins around a cigarette. "He's a full-fledged mercenary. He's like a grandson. I'll teach him well." Ken barks back. "Why would you teach him those things, you trashy adult?" Lucas leans close to Ash, blue eyes soft. "Hee, Your Highness." The aide's smile is almost fond. Brown hair catches the gold light. "When I'm alone," Lucas says, voice dropping so only the prince hears. "I can't stop thinking about that day." Lucas, armored and alone in ruins, a phantom corpse at his feet. Gold flecks in brown eyes shine in the firelight. That day burned itself into Lucas and never let go. Thud! A head drops onto the table. Ash blinks down. Someone has just folded under the weight of too much drink. Jupiter props her face up, metals glinting. For some reason, my magic was stronger while I served under you. A skill hexagon flashes. Lucas SSR 27, Lily 17, Demian 15, Jupiter 35, Ashik at the apex. Party synergy is real. But how can Ash say that out loud? A grin flickers at the corner of his mouth, head tipped to one side. Oh, Jupiter's eye catches the light. Is that why you're always by my side, Lucas? Lucas tilts his head, blonde hair shining. Maybe. Jupiter coughs. Maybe doesn't fit your model knight character. More mugs crack together. For our dead comrades, for the survivors, for His Highness the Prince. A soldier bellows. Your Highness's jug is still full. Ash stares into the ale, surrounded by grinning faces. Again, what kind of reputation is that? 1,000 knees thud onto the ground, hoods bowed in rows. We deserve to die. Stop overreacting, you brutes. Stand up. Then please drink, your highness. Ash lifts the mug, throat bared. Since you forced our landlord to drink. The soldier's grin widens. What now? Dumplings burst out of a basket, white and steaming. The feast refuses to end. More? More? Louder? Moon over Crossroads wall. They ate, drank, sang, and chatted. The night of victory wore on into black, gray gradient, hours dissolving into blur, the feast burning itself down to coals and silence. A wall leans in a yellowed hallway. Ugh, I'm drunk. Someone staggers inside, half off their feet. A sleeve in dark cloth swings loose as a body drops onto red fabric. The aide has gone down at last. A gloved hand lowers over the unconscious man. Let's see. What color are you, Lucas? Ash stands quiet in the gold of the hall, cape sweeping, gold epaulets burning. The Tyrant is the last one standing. A burst of golden light births a prize card. Lucky Strike, SSR, level 7. Fighting gloves worth 777 attack. A gambler's dream. Damage rolls on a slot machine. 7, 1, 3. The jackpot grins back. Every swing becomes a coin flip, and the house rarely loses patiently. 4 blunt words cut through the glow. Totally useless in practicality. The streamer inside him still remembers laughing at fools who equip these things. The gloves lie crumpled on the stone floor, studded and limp. A boot tip nudges them. Silence answers. Even junk loot refuses to argue. Ash stoops, collecting the gloves anyway. A prince's hands can't be seen empty. If no one else will take them, pride will. He pulls the dark leather over royal fingers. Brown eyes narrow, unimpressed. A jackpot needs only to hit once, he tells himself. Optimistic. The word rattles in his skull like a thrown die. The third prince rarely admits to hope out loud. His teeth grind behind clenched lips. How can he be optimistic when even a rare golden item feels like a cruel joke from the system? He tossed and turned until morning barely caught him. The palace sleeps on. A tyrant's first trophy cost him a full night's rest. A door cracks open late afternoon. Ash flinches, eyes raw, mouth slack. He looks less like royalty and more like something the castle dragged in. Lucas grins on the other side, blonde hair catching the light. Your Highness, he chirps, already half a step into the room. Are you okay? The knight asks, softer now. You should have rested in the morning. Concern hides under the casual tone, neat as a sheathed blade. As your bodyguard, how could I? Lucas trails off, eyes lowered. Guilt is a quiet thing for a knight who missed the night before. Good morning to you both, a bright maid chirps over her tray. Lucas winces at the volume. Why is this guy always this energetic? Here, here, warm honey water. Both of you, drink up. The pot tips, gold gleaming. The palace tries to mother the tyrant 1 cup at a time. Whoa, now I feel a bit alive. Ash breathes into the cup. Red cape hangs heavy at his back. Even princes run on sugar and hot water. Well then, shall I start preparing for the next stage? The words crackle in his head like a battle horn. The game never sleeps, not even for tyrants. Wind cuts across a cracked plain. 3 figures stand before something vast, broken, old. The fortress is not a fortress yet, just ambition leaning on rubble. Let alone monsters. Ash finishes, arms crossed, gold epaulets glinting. The tyrant weighs the weight of the plan, and it weighs plenty. It will take more than 2 weeks, the bearded engineer admits, sweat beating under his helm. Stone rises slower than fear spreads. Ash opens his system window. Stage 1. Time till start. 9 days, 20 seconds. 236 hours thin as a held breath. Lucas leans in. He will support the wall construction starting tomorrow. The knight offers his sword to carry mortar. Royalty bends in small ways. Ader, how's the reinforcement troop situation? Ash asks. Spiral glasses turn slowly. The architect's answer will shape the siege before it begins. So I have to wait until tomorrow to see some progress, Ash murmurs, gloved hand at his jaw. I can do other things on my own. Idleness is the real enemy. I have no choice but to pray that the reinforcement will arrive safely. A prince praying is a quiet admission. Not everything is in his hands. Good, Ader. If anything happens, report to me. Lucas, during that time, let's do what we can. The three of them are a tight little council on open ground. And by that you mean? Lucas asks, unsure. The wind carries the pause between them like a dropped coin rolling towards something cold. To the dungeon. Ash smiles, quiet and sharp. The third prince has read this map many times before. He knows what waits in the dark. And going to the Black Lake, Lucas repeats, blue eyes widening. Exactly, Lucas. But this time, the sentence hangs, unfinished, a hook before the drop. We are going under the lake with the rest of the party. A still silver pool reflects ruin. The story finally steps off dry land. Okay, that's it for today. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Lamps burn over a sleeping palace. The briefing closes like a held breath. I just said we're leaving on an expedition tomorrow morning. Lily sits braced. Damien's cross catches the window light. Somebody is about to be left behind. I'll see you tomorrow, Your Highness. Sorry, Lily. The priest bows over the red-haired magician. Even Mercy has a travel schedule. Ader, prepare the supplies for the expedition, Ash says, bent over the desk. Spiral glasses tilt in answer. The dungeon will not pack itself. Ader smiles faintly, silvery hair falling into spiral lenses. He nods like a puppet with secret strings. The architect loves his lists. The next morning, the Lord's Manor at Crossroad. The backyard. Snow dusts the cobbles. Three figures wait in crimson cloaks and pale armor. This seems serious. Dame Jupiter stands in black uniform, eye patch in place, metals glittering. Where are we going? The lightning sorceress asks. You'll see soon, Ash answers, half smiling. Pale stone shards hover beside him as if drawn by gravity. The air already feels like a rival. The stones begin to rise. Jupiter's mouth parts. Is this teleportation magic? Her single eye narrows. Something ancient is waking under them. It should have disappeared a few hundred years ago. How? Jupiter's voice tightens. Ash only hums, gloved hand at his chin. He never promised to play fair. The party assembles under dark trees. Jupiter, Ash, Lily wheezing in her chair, Lucas in silver plate. 5 heartbeats heading for one buried door. We are going to explore that place. Find out why the monsters are coming from there. Behind his words, phantom armor swarms a grim, cold field. Destroying the source of the monsters, Ash says, brown eyes flat with resolve. A tyrant who plans his invasions like a chess endgame. A blue system menu flares. Teleport, select your destination. Lakeside glows. Other options locked. I'll brief you on the way there, so follow me. Lucas waves, silver gauntlet raised. Bye. A boyish farewell to a doorway no one else can see. The blonde knight rarely lets fear show. It's safe, I'm telling you. The words echo like a salesman's last pitch. A promise from a man who has died in this game many times. Now loading, teleporting. Tip, hero characters grow by leveling up. Can't you give me some useful tips instead of these obvious chest hunt lines? Boots hit wet stone. Cloaks drip. The arrival is quiet, careful, armed. The lakeside breathes cold air onto their ankles. This place is. It really is that lake. A mist-choked basin stretches wide. Jupiter stiffens. You've been here before, Jupiter. The past walks in. 20 years ago. It was when royal soldiers. Jupiter begins. Silver ponytail sways. Her eye patch hides a memory that is already too loud. Ash cuts in, smirk sliding up. Seems like they had a dumb commander 20 years ago too. A reincarnated gamer, roasting royalty across decades. A column of flashback images stacks down the page. Screams, bodies on water, a forgotten massacre made quiet. The lake remembers everything. Because we're going to go deeper. Damien stands behind Lily, priest collar sharp. She trembles under the weight of that word. Deeper. Would you like to enter the Lake Kingdom? Yes. No. Obviously yes. Ash picks his option the way a veteran picks a sword he knows works. A red warning floods in. You cannot return until you open the next stopping point. Will you really continue? Trying to scare me with a warning sign. You think I played this game once or twice? Ash presses the prompt without flinching. The streamer inside him laughs at the warning menu. A black whirlpool opens in the ground, heavy as a throat. It turns slowly. Whatever waits below is not written on the quest log anymore. This is the entrance to the dungeon. Ash stands crimson against the dark spiral, his party dwarfed by the hole in the world below their feet. They descend into black stone corridors, the party tiny against endless pillars. A vertical strip of scenes stacks deeper, deeper still. Sparks drift in the dark. Something massive burns low ahead, red coals breathing. The air smells like iron and patience grown thin. Heat sears their faces. A great shape ignites at the edge of vision, rimmed in gold and black. The dungeon has its own sun, and it just opened an eye. Eek! What is that? Lily screams. Her palms flare with twin flames of her own, red hair whipping. Terror meets magic in the same breath. Oh, Jupiter breathes, eye narrowing. Lucas steps forward, gauntlet raised against the glare. The light carves every face in the party hard and bright. Your Highness! What is this place? Lucas whispers. Ash only stares ahead, lips parting. For once, the streamer inside him is quiet. This place is the strange Lake Kingdom. The dungeon beneath the water. The words settle over them like a headstone. The expedition has truly begun. Ash stands at the threshold of the cursed city and finally tastes clean air. Ancient magic lets him move again, but freedom this easy always costs something. Beyond the ruined spires, old sorcery hums in the air like a held breath. The city of graves is listening, and it knows a stranger has come. Lucas whips around, blue eyes sharp, a warning hiss pinned between his teeth. Something has moved at the edge of the party's firelight. A pale bare foot steps from the shadow of a long robe. No shoes in a dungeon of broken stone. No one crosses this ground barefoot and survives by accident. Lucas raises a crackling blade. The knights brace. A silhouette stands in their torchlight, waiting, as if it has been expecting this exact moment for centuries. Ash pulls Lily behind him, voice flat. Not an enemy. Weapons down. First time in a dungeon and already everyone forgets how to wait. He tells them this is their first dungeon. They hear orders. He hears a memory he has not earned yet, waiting 3 steps ahead. Silver hair spills over pale feet, unmoving on the broken tile. Whoever this is, they have been here long enough to forget the feel of stone. Ash's brown eye narrows, sharp as a blade. One word inside his skull, heavy as a verdict. What? He has never seen her before, not in any playthrough, and Classic Nerd cleared this game 142 times. Never seen her before. Did this NPC even exist in the game? The Tyrant's mind shuffles through dead save files, and none of them match her face. About 100 hidden residents haunt this city. Every run, one steps forward as a guide. After 142 tries, this is the first time she has. Sea green eyes lift from under silver bangs. Not hostile, not warm. The stare of someone who has counted every hero that came before and watched them die. Ash meets her gaze without blinking. Red cape, gold epaulets, a villain's uniform. Yet his mouth moves like the boy who used to play this game alone. The nightmare of the Lake Kingdom will never end, she says. She speaks it like a fact of gravity, not a threat, and gravity always keeps its promises. Ash says nothing. 3 small dots hang over his head like a verdict he is still drafting. Around him, the knights wait for a king to speak first. Then the fort itself flashes behind his eyes. Stone walls he swore to protect, responsibility dressed up as stubbornness. He has a job, and darkness does not get a vote. I am not afraid of the dark. We must enter this city. A tyrant speaking like a hero, and his own heart does not know which mask is real. He asks her to guide them. One lip, one burning eye in the lantern light. No noble bow, just a request, soldier to stranger. She answers with a test. She hopes his courage is true, or just reckless bluster from a plain man in pretty armor. Ash does not flinch at the insult. Every real king has been called plain by someone who outlived kings. He only waits. She looks up into the empty sky and admits it. She forgot her name. Whatever did this to the Lake Kingdom took that first. Call me Mu Myung, she says. No name. A title carved out of what was lost, worn the way others wear medals. Tens of minutes pass. Lanterns bob through ruined streets. 4 figures trailing a barefoot ghost around walls, no map ever printed. Her bare soul moves beside a boot trimmed in gold. The dead stone cannot hurt her. Whatever walks barefoot this long is past pain. Then her pale foot stops dead on a seam in the floor. One word, quiet as a closing door. Here. Silver bangs, green eye, calm mouth. She has brought the tyrant to a threshold only the Nameless remember. A stone arch yawns open behind them. Is the sewer system, she murmurs. and Red Cape vanishes into brickwork older than the Empire itself. Ash steps inside, lantern in hand. The Tyrant's face, lit from below, looks less like a prince and more like something the sewer was built to hold. The first area, the dry sewer. 3 lanterns bob down a tiled throat of stone. They have officially left the kingdom he ruled. Every pipe overhead hangs dry. Blue wisps cling to the stones where water should be. Whatever drained this place did it on purpose. A system panel cracks open in his vision. Dry sewer checkpoint connected. The game has decided he is allowed to save here. 3 teleport destinations bloom on the menu. Lakeside docks, dry sewer, locked area. Next time he can start here, there will be a next time. Lily's face cracks into pure red-faced panic. Your Highness, can I go back home, please? Ash's mouth barely twitches. Yeah, no. Silver hair turns in her hood and warns him. Gray breath drifts past silver bangs. A goodbye dressed up as a guide's duty. The further you push, the heavier the darkness becomes. The stronger the monsters grow. The City of Graves is sizing up its newest guests. If you must walk into the abyss, she adds, it is not a question. She has watched men like him refuse to turn back before. Ash, Lucas, Damien, Lily stand inside one cold lantern's reach. A party of 5, and only one of them has memorized the script. A gloved fist grips the warm brass of the lantern. The flame inside is the only promise down here that keeps itself. Silver-haired figure glides ahead, tiny against the throat of the tunnel. Mist curls at her ankles like old dogs that know her by smell. Red Cape and Blonde Knight step into the mouth of the arch side by side. For the first time all day, Lucas does not argue the point. It is as if the darkness itself is alive. Faint gasps curl in the stone, walls breathing around them, patient, interested, hungry. Ash pulls Lucas close, voice dropped to a whisper of dots. 3 dots from a tyrant usually means the plan is about to change. This dungeon is full of secrets even classic nerd, who cleared Hell Sage mode, never found. The player has become the tourist. Good, everyone ready. A hole gapes behind them in the brick like a mouth that just finished swallowing the last party that tried this. A blue system prompt locks in around them. Dry sewer cleared progress. Normal room 0 of 3. Boss room 0 of 1. The game has started the clock. Ash half turns toward them, a small smile pulling at one corner of his mouth. The tyrant is enjoying this, and that should scare everyone. Brick floor. Empty frame. A held breath between one room and the next, when the engine decides what to spawn. A bandaged bare foot passes beneath a red hem. Silver-haired guide steps over the seam first. The Nameless always lead the way into what has no name. How long does it stretch? Ash asks. Lucas shrugs behind his torch. It will end soon. Famous last words in any dungeon. And here the event of the first room begins. One pale foot plants itself in dust. The floor under it remembers every fight this place has ever held. A horror rears from the shadow. Red eyes, wet fangs, a throat wide enough to swallow an arm. The dry sewer is not as empty as its pipes. A scarlet banner locks in. Annihilate the enemy. Dry sewer room 1. Level 3. Large sewer rat. 14 bodies. Combat is no longer optional. Lily shrieks with her whole face. Eek, rats. The red-haired mage discovers the villain arc does not come with pest control. Lucas lunges, blue armor flashing, blade already moving. Yes, your highness. Always the first one between the prince and the teeth. Ash barks orders to Damien. Strong skulls. Aim for the eyes or the neck. The priest answers, yes, my prince. A party finally acting like a party. And Ash says, lantern steady. The tyrant sets the stage and steps back. A king does not need to swing every sword himself. I will just watch, I guess. Lucas hurls a rat aside in a burst of gold. The party works and Ash lets himself breathe. Gold light slashes through the stone corridor. The rats scatter in streaks of black. The first room is already bending to them. Damien's cross flares white. A healer made for this exact corridor. The priest was built for basements long before he ever met a prince. Silence rolls in. Blue wisps drift up off dead bodies. Ash watches his party stand over a floor of fallen rats like a general surveying a very small war. Damien smiles gently. Good work, everyone. Not so bad, right? A village priest's grace in a sewer built to break heroes. Lucas asks if he should collect the magic gems. Ash answers, nah. There is bigger game in these tunnels than loot. Ash says the information window read 14, but a red-eyed shape stirs in the dark behind him. The count was wrong. The room is not finished. A giant silhouette rears over the tyrant from behind, jaws stretching. The first room of the dry sewer just remembered its real boss. The rat monster lunges, maw split wide, fangs glowing red, and Ash stands his ground in the dark with the beast's breath on his neck. Ash throws his head back and roars, teeth bared, red cape snapping, gold epaulets catching the flash of rage. A crimson word blazes across the dark, jackpot, and the screen of the defense game lights up like the sewer just paid out. A crimson streak carves through shadow, a single brutal slash of energy that does not pause for doubt or mercy. The rat thing recoils, arms flung wide, blood exploding from its chest in a dark blossom across the stone floor. The tyrant stands over the corpse, smoke rising off his fist, while Ken kneels beside him with wide, frightened eyes. Lucas steps in behind Ash, blonde hair soaked in torchlight, blue armor battered, voice small. "Your Highness, are you well?" Lucas's blue eyes go wide and troubled. What was that just now? The blonde knight did not see a man. He saw a weapon. A black fist fills the gold light of triumph, knuckles still hot. "Huh," someone whispers. "Prince Punch." Ash forces a grin, raises a fist in fake cheer. "We can activate superpowers sometimes, yep. Please just accept this and move on." Lucas lights up, mouth open in amazement. Behind him, Lily and Ken trade nervous question marks, unsure whether to cheer or run. Bronze letters flash across the gloom. Tyrant of the defense game. The chapter is only starting to breathe. A system panel glows blue. Dry sewers, room 2. This room is empty. Below, the party steps into lantern-lit stone, hunting. A treasure chest rises from the dark. Wood banded in iron, almost taller than Ash, breathing promise and threat in equal measure. A hag-faced phantom rips into view, tongue out, laughing. Characteristic, Gold Rush has been activated. The chest has a will of its own. Ash shouts, fangs out, red cape flaring. "Hey, you greedy grandma, what if it is a trap?" The tyrant is babysitting again. Damien steps forward in his priest robes, gold cross catching the torch glow. "Thank God it is a treasure chest," he breathes. Dame Jupiter turns, silver hair under the eye patch, metals bristling on her chest. The lightning sorceress is weighing the room. The view fades to a soft gray wash, a breath between rooms, the calm before the next order from the dungeon. A red prompt flashes. Annihilate the enemy. Dry sewer, room 1. Level 3 large sewer rat. The party lights their torches again. One boot slams onto wet stone, the sound cutting through dark like a clock striking. Boss room is 1 corridor away. A wooden gate looms, taller than a house. "Next is the boss room," Ash says. The party stares, breath held tight. Ash smirks, dark hair falling over brown eyes, a tiny flip of a sleeve, the third prince back in his element. Red legs walk through red torchlight, robes trailing over wet stone. A tyrant in motion, carrying his court into the next fight. A crimson maw erupts across the darkness, fangs like hooks, eyes buried in shadow. The boss is not a small rat anymore. Ash's eyes narrow behind a shaking gloved hand, sweat on his brow. The tyrant is afraid and hiding it from his knights. A thought screams in silence. The smell of blood. Something in him is remembering being classic nerd on the other side. A gray wash rolls over the scene again. The soundless inhale before Ash forces his voice back into his throat. Ash stares, mouth open. "Sewerage manager Palag. Why does the rat man have a human name?" The dungeon is playing games. The boss rears back on 2 legs, shouting in blood-red letters. "I will kill you all." Lucas and Ken freeze beneath it. A huge eye fills the dark. "No," he mouths. "Just that. No." The tyrant's composure is cracking in real time. A thought howls across the dark. "I have to say something." Ash is scrambling for a line, any authority. Lily throws her head back, orange braid whipping, hands thrown up in flame. The red-haired magician is past words already. Fire explodes across the party. "Do not come near me," Lily screams. Ash, Lucas, and Ken duck as heat roars past. A lesser sewer rat drops, smoke curling off its body. A small dark corpse sprawled on lantern-lit stone. One down. The true boss roars back, red eyes cracking the smoke. "You damn rat," it says, hating every word of itself. Dame Jupiter lifts a hand ringed in blue lightning, silver hair whipping, eye patch turned to the boss. "You can stop here." A pillar of lightning swallows the boss, a cathedral of white-blue current, the beast outlined inside like a bad idea. Inside the storm, the rat thing howls, blue mouth stretched impossibly wide. "I have to," it whispers to nobody. A blood-red shout answers from above. "Clean out the rats." The lightning sorceress does not negotiate with vermin. Ash watches the corridor flash, white, red cape rippling, murmuring in awe. "That was quick." The tyrant finally exhales. A system caption floats over the boss's corpse. A characteristic of an early-stage monster is that it has barely any resistance to magic. 4 torches circle the spot where the boss burned. The party lines up small and quiet, lanterns trembling in wet stone halls. A blue hollow prompt unfolds from an iron-banded chest. Boss room treasure chest. The dungeon is paying out for the clear. Ash turns to his knight, cold-eyed and precise. Lucas, hold on to Jupiter. Yes, your highness, Lucas answers, straight-backed. Jupiter, slung under Lucas's arm, kicks and howls. Ah, let go. Respect your elders, Sir Lucas. Ash does not hide the smirk. A pale longsword hums up out of the chest on a spire of light. Whoa, Ash breathes, his grin already calculating damage numbers. Lucas here, Ash says. The blonde knight grins, hand raised, body dressed in battered blue-white plate, ready to catch a weapon. The chest lies on its side in shadow, carved panels scarred with runes, a story of every boss it has ever watched die. Ash leans over the empty chest, one brow raised. Shouldn't there be one more? The Tyrant knows the game too well. A scroll pops up on the blue prompt. Summoning scroll. Automatic defense turret. The guaranteed drop of the second area. Finally his. Okay, let's get out of here, Ash calls, small grin floating at the top of the scene like a promise of chaos ahead. White boots step across stone, red cape flicking at the edge. The party fading up out of the sewers together. An enormous brown eye fills the dark, a tiny point of gold at its center. The Tyrant is already looking at the next thing. The blue prompt unfolds. The second area, the hidden alleyway checkpoint, is connected. The party steps into lantern-lit streets. A quiet thought echoes inside Ash's head. It is so developed. The Tyrant is not in a slum anymore. He is in a capital. Ash stares up at high walls, sweat on his cheek. These are the streets of a prosperous city. Even a back alleyway is like this. One ornate lamppost burns alone in fog, 2 blue lanterns staring at stones scattered like teeth across cold cobble. A blue prompt spreads out in front of them. The second area, hidden alleyway checkpoint, is connected. Another foothold for the Tyrant. A red wall of light blocks the path. You cannot proceed beyond this area yet. Ash smiles. I was not thinking of going today anyway. A dome of ivory stone curves above them, stained glass rose window dark. Good work, everyone, Ash calls. We will stop here today. A teleport menu unfolds in cyan light. Choose your destination. Behind the Lord's Manor. Lakeside docks. Dry sewer. The Tyrant taps home. Somewhere else in the city, a gloved hand draws a pale curved blade from a dark sheath. So he is the last player, a voice says. He made it all the way here, the stranger adds. The blade glows faint against dark cloth, patient, waiting for a name to kill. Red eyes bloom in the dark around him like petals on a grave. Everything is for the Lake Kingdom, the stranger whispers. Rest well tonight, he tells them, but Ash's eyes are already fixed on the horizon. The third prince in dark uniform and red cape, alone in the courtyard moonlight. Dame Jupiter laughs into her glove, silver hair falling over the eye patch. Beside her, Lily is already half spun by the wine, cheeks red as her hair. Is there anything else you can tell us, your highness? The knights wait in the corridor, spears and blonde armor and silver hair, ready to follow wherever this prince points. Ash cleared the game completely once, yet never learned why the Lake Kingdom rotted. The classic nerd inside him is already whispering that the answer is at the center of that lost city. Jupiter lifts her glass, metals catching the moonlight. I don't think I'll be able to sleep with a sober mind tonight, she says, and Ash can see the fear under the steel. Lily raises her cup to the sorceress, laughing too loud. I don't think I'll be able to sleep without getting drunk too. Victory tastes like survival tonight, nothing more. Damien holds the gold cross to his lips. The priest who healed them through every wave of phantoms, and even he needs to speak to something bigger tonight. I think I'll feel better if I pray. He looks up at Ash, round glasses catching moonlight, voice smaller than a boy's. Ash just nods. Faith is a weapon too. Not until the next defense battle. Why? Above Crossroad, the moon floats cold and full, and Ash already knows the answer is not a number of days. Lucas steps into the hall, blue and white armor bright against the dark. The blonde knight who once held the line alone now waits on his prince for the next order. Are the monsters we'll face at the next defense? Ash stares down the long moonlit avenue, red cape heavy, the question louder than the question asked. First fill up the exploration areas, he says. Ash is thinking like a designer again, like the classic nerd who used to read patch notes instead of bleeding for them. Oh my lord. Pixel Butler floats into the corridor, the little white sprite stuttering with panic. The butler only spirals like that when reality is breaking. His spiral glasses spin loose, mouth open and something too wide to be a smile. Whatever the system just told him, it is bad enough to break the butler. A low growl rumbles down the marble hall. Lucas plants between his prince and the sound. Demian half lifts his cross. Ash does not move a muscle. Apologies, your highness. Lucas lowers his head, cheeks flushing. The blonde knight embarrassed by his own instincts. Ash waves it away without turning. There's no need to listen to this news now, but Ash has already decided to listen. He just doesn't want the others to see what it does to his face. Above Crossroad, the moon hangs over a domed hall. Bring the food, someone calls. Business as usual, and tomorrow the real war begins. Morning comes too bright over the dome of Crossroad. The walls that held last night are still warm, and already the next war is filing paperwork against Ash. What do you mean there are no reinforcements? Ash stands with his back to Mr. A, red cape draped, shoulders held like a cliff about to crack. Mr. A grins, hands folded, suspenders perfect, the only man in the Empire who finds war logistics entertaining, and the Empire is currently fighting the enemy. Something's off. The words drop in a hum, unplaced, the way a designer in Ash's head mutters when a patch note doesn't add up to the numbers in front of him. But out of nowhere, all the soldiers in the southern region were taken. Convenient? Too convenient. The whole southern army, gone, like a save file corrupted. And coincidentally, it's when I request reinforcements. Ash's glove covers his mouth, dark eyes gone cold. Someone is playing against him, and not from across the border. The mercenary guild stands pale in the morning light, all stone and empty shutters. Only days ago its hall was crowded. Now it is a hollow tooth in the city's jaw. What should I do? Ash's voice is smaller than his uniform now. Mr. A's spirals glint beside him, that unreadable grin never loosening for a second. We need to worry about the next stage. Spit it out. How can I get more soldiers? The prince's eyes flare wide, gold epaulets flashing as he rounds on his secretary. Secretary Ader. Lucas's blonde head turns sharp, the blue and white knight already reading the weather between his prince and the silver-haired director. To the past lord, Mr. A says, and a pale horse stamps behind him, steam in the morning air. Someone older than Ash's title is about to re-enter the story. What is a front count? In simple terms, a count that protects the frontier. A wall behind the wall, named after a family that built the road itself. Because they are tasked with protecting the front, the cannon of the wall yawns wide behind his words. Black barrel, gray stone, a kingdom's life held in one line of defense. Ever since people first started coming to Crossroad, a knight rides out in Ash's memory, hooves kicking through green fields, the birth of a frontier kingdom in one stride. The fort city itself is named after the count's name. 3 riders on the horizon, mountains at their back, and a family that built the road under Ash's boots today. The road the Cross family built. The fort city on top of it. Crossroad. The word on the gate is not just geography, it is somebody's last name turned into a wall. To put it bluntly, in this place the front count has more authority. A white rook towers over a fallen king on a chessboard, and the metaphor is not subtle. And asked it to be ruled by the central, a banner snaps in red and gold. That's why Ash became the new lord of this place. A deal written in loyalty, not blood. Why? The single question pulses black on the scene of Ash's thoughts, the classic nerd inside him already knowing the answer is going to be inconvenient. It'd be better if you heard it in person. Mr. A grins up at the blue sky, spirals blazing, enjoying this far too much for someone delivering bad news. They ride out through hedgerow and bright trees, a manor rising at the end of the green path. The director's polite little tour into a political knife fight. After the front count resigned from his position, the Cross family built this place as a vacation house. Even in retirement, he rests on land he built himself. Does someone even live here? The iron gate coils in gold filigree, untouched, silent. Whoever still haunts this place does not answer for small visitors. Beyond the gate, mountains and a small red figure, a woman in a fortress garden. Ash's silver-haired secretary stares, jaw tight. The meeting is already starting. It's me, Ader. Mr. A waves from the path, arms wide. My secretary friend, the old man, answers from the porch, voice dry as dust kicked off a boot. Ader, what is he saying? He's the front count. Ash's face tightens, a single bead of sweat at his temple, the word count landing heavier than any sword. I brought guests. The old knight steps into the light, white beard, green vest, a smile that has outlived 3 emperors and plans to outlive this one too. A woman in a red cloak blocks the view, hair pale, stance wide. Lucas stiffens. The air gathers like a storm, remembering it has teeth. Nice to meet you, Front Count Cross. I am the youngest son of the Holy Emperor. Ash's voice is clean royal porcelain, the kind that cuts when it breaks. It's awkward, but it's right to use formalities, just like how a new private would talk to his supervisor. A prince, publicly calling an old knight his supervisor. Now that's crossing the line. The old knight's face goes red, mouth twisted wide. Ash stands calm in yellow and red, the boy prince testing a veteran's temper on purpose. The banner ripples overhead, green cloth, bronze crest, the cross sigil proudly rooted where it has always been. Ash reads it like reading an enemy's build order. A green-vested warrior plants a spear and shield across the path, body broad, stance low. One old retainer, ready to fight a prince's whole retinue alone. You must not care for your life. I warned you. The count's roar shakes the courtyard, white hair wild, eyes like burning coal. Ash does not move one step back. Boots shift in the grass, the old knight's weight braced for violence. A prince and a retired count, one slow inch from swords drawn on an empire's own lawn. I'll return next time, front count. The mansion looms behind his voice, red roof catching the light, and the words are not a retreat but a reservation for war. Leave me alone, the count barks, throwing up an arm. Lucas murmurs patience, guiding Ash back. The blonde knight, somehow older than his prince in this moment. Evangeline Cross rises gold behind Ash's eyes, spear and black cloak, the game's best tanker, wings of fire at her shoulders. A weapon waiting behind one old man's pride. I have to somehow get on that old drunk's good side. Could I get a chance to recruit if things go well? The classic nerd starts scheming again behind the tyrant's face. Rows of elite soldiers in green livery, banners high, swords sharp, and every one of them sworn to the front count alone. An army inside Ash's own city, not his. I have to coax him one way or another. But forget speaking, I can't even see him face to face. Ash's glove climbs to his lips, the prince calculating a softer war. Sometimes only a drunkard can get close to another drunkard. Mr. A grins wide, spirals bright, offering the ugliest and most reliable plan in the empire. Damn, I want to live a virtuous and noble life, Ash breathes, but this world will not let me. Damn it. The third prince cursing his own coronation under a clear sky. What's that? A golden gate gleams at the far end of the path, armored cart glinting in the weeds. The old knight's world has one more secret. Ash freezes at the threshold, dark hair falling over dark eyes, the courtyard quiet. Whatever waits behind that gate is the real reason Mr. A brought him here today. Then the sky opens gold and Ash smiles. Not the tyrant's smirk. The classic nerd's grin, bright under the red cape. The enemy won a round. Crossroad will be his. The tyrant walks away with a plan already loading. An old drunk knight, a tanker named Evangeline, and a prince with one move left to play.